All right, guys, I think I'm going to take my biggest loss here of around, if this thing goes against me, $1,700. If we go into profit and we start breaking new highs on gold, gold has been on a major uptrend. 1 hour, it's still uptrending. I just got in some positions, some buy positions, putting stop loss under these, putting my stop loss putting my stop loss under this range low here, which is also aligns with the moving average, the 21-day moving average. So if we're still going to maintain this uptrend, we want to continue seeing more bullish momentum at this range. We did just hit an all-time high, which is a major key level at 4,000 area, at $4,000 per ounce of gold. So it is at the all-time high here, and I am buying here, expecting a breakout above 4,000. If we are gonna push higher, we gotta have 4,000 be the new support level. I'm already down $400 for the day. It's crazy because I was actually up $460 and my take profit was at $477. So I missed my initial take profit by $20, and it's starting to come back down on me. I started adding more positions, which is a risky move. Considering on how it looks right now, it's starting to be on a bearish downtrend. So this might be my biggest loss or it might be a big win. So we'll go ahead and just wait and see how that turns out. The 4 hour candle is about to close right now, so I'm hoping that it maintains at this range here and it just creates this low. It did create a new low for the day, so I'm hoping that the low holds and the support level here holds, so we can continue going into the bullish momentum and breaking the 4,000 key level. If not, I'm going to be down $1,700, which if it does, I'd put me down at 600. I'd be at $2,000 balance, which is all right. I'm trying to catch some big moves here, and ultimately I'm trying to make some big profit so I can get another payout. This is starting to look a little bit riskier just because we had a big sell-off at the 4,000 area. Big sell-off and a double top, and we've been just trending high for days on days. So I am kind of scared for this to just pop back down super quick, liquidate everybody, grab a bunch of orders, fill a bunch of orders before continuing its next leg up. If there's a lot of bullish momentum and there's still a lot of buying orders that can continue to push the market higher, I do see us breaking above 4,000 and then going up to 40, 50. So right now we're kind of in a sketchy position. Not gonna lie, I am kind of scared. I do kind of want to get out, but the 1 hour has just remained completely bullish on the, if you look at the moving averages, the 1 hour moving averages, every time it comes and it comes inside of the moving averages, it continues going up and continues the bullish momentum. So I'm hoping that Here in the next 8 minutes, we see a pretty significant bounce going into London session, possibly take out and create another high. I'm really hoping that this goes in our favor. If not, we're going to lose in total 1780, which is an additional $700 where I'm at right now. I'm at 2,800, so I'd be at 2,100 total balance. If this does go in our favor, we'll be up, right around $2,000. So for me, it's kind of I just kind of have to hold it out now. I don't see this thing staying down for too long. I do think we're going to hit a support level and continue to range up. But it's just figuring out, finding and waiting for us to hit that bottom. That's the hard part when it comes to trading, is because you don't want to catch a falling knife, but you also want to get in at a good dip. So this is why it's kind of scaring me a little bit, because we dipped pretty heavy here at the 4,000 range. So we literally tapped 4,000 twice. So, and both times it had a sharp rejection, but this time around it's looking different, because we just see a bunch of red candles here. As before, when we hit the 4,000, we had one big red candle and then followed by immediate green candles, which still signifies that there was bullish momentum. But here it's starting to look like we're starting to capture a lot of more selling orders, which could signify one of two things. There's it only signifies really one thing, that there's a lot of sellers at this area here. And if there's a lot of sellers and it's holding and it starts to consolidate and looking like a bearish momentum, then we can consolidate and distribute going lower again before going initially pushing, past previous highs. So we are kind of in a key area right now. The 4-hour is about to close. And if the 4-hour closes a doji, which I'm hoping it does, I'm hoping it just closes as an indecisive candle, and for us to see another continued push up. The 1-hour is looking, it's looking a little sketchy, not gonna lie. It is looking a little sketchy here, but we're already in the trade at this point. I don't have too bad of a position, but if it starts going to my entry, I am in 11 microcons, which is a pretty good amount here of contracts. So I want to get out as soon as we start pushing up and making some pushes back into this general range here, or back to where my general average orders are, so I can get out and start de-risking a little bit, because honestly I wouldn't want to take a $1,700 loss. But that's what comes with trading sometimes. Sometimes you have to hold for dear life. Like I said, we've been in a bullish trend on gold for quite a long time now. So I don't see it ending anytime soon, especially with everything going on with the government shutdown. Gold is always considered a safe haven asset. I just think that we are seeing a big rejection and push down of liquidation. People are selling, taking profits at the top. People are panic selling right now. People are taking profits at the top. People are waiting for a lower dip. So we just have to wait it out and see what starts happening here. If this key area here gets broken, I think we're done here. The thing I hate to see is a massive red candle immediately get rejected and creates a big sell-off wick. That's what I don't want to see happen. I don't want to see a sell-off wick happen here. Us get wicked out, kind of like how it happened here, where we see 1 5-minute candle just completely come down and then it starts trending up again, which I think that's what's going to happen here. I can either get out right now at $1,000 loss, or keep on holding it for an extra $500-600 loss, which it would be $1,700 loss if I lose this. Honestly, yeah, I think we're gonna lose this one, guys. But it's all right. It's all right. With big risk comes big rewards. So we have been trending up. We are at a pretty decent dip right now. The 4 hour is about to close. We did create a new low of day. So if we just gotta hold this area. If this area holds and just consolidates for a little bit more, then we can distribute higher as more buy orders come in, and the sell off here starts to exhaust a little bit. So we just need to get an exhaustion of sellers, new buyers coming in, stepping into the market, ultimately breaking the previous high. We did see that we had a break of high here, so this high here was taken out twice. So I'm hoping that on the third attempt to break this 4,000 level is when we finally break it. The real question is, how low will it go before ultimately breaking the $4,000 barrier? There's a lot of anticipation here for a new leg moving up, but also there is a lot of room for this thing to drop. So we have to keep that in mind. I might just start selling some of my positions here just to de-risk a little bit, because at the end of the day, I don't really want to take a $1,700 loss, but at the same time, I don't want to take a loss if we have good market structure to continue pushing higher. So we've already, been super bullish, so there's no sense in switching to bearish or selling anything right now. It just really comes down to how much we can hold the drawdown, and I really don't want to hold the $2,000-3,000 drawdown. If it gets to that, which ultimately it can, right? You never know how fast these markets can move in any single direction. So you always have to be on the cautionary side of trading. So it's not about how much can you make, it's how much can you avoid losing while coming out in profit. So we really want to avoid losing a lot of our account health right now when we're trying to build it up to another payout. But at the same time, we don't want to be little beesies. We don't want to be little sissies here and not go in heavy on a trade that is looking pretty decent, that's been moving, that's been trending up for quite a while now. We're buying the dip, so we don't want to have weak hands and sell at a point where it can start turning around for us. So we're just going to continue holding this and pray. Continue holding this, pray, and then start de-risking. So we're going to start de-risking as this does move into our favor, so that way we can avoid a loss at all costs. For 1 hour, 4 hour, see 4 hour just closed. I'm hoping this 4 hour can, if we zoom in, so this is the daily low now, right? So I'm hoping that this 4 hour can either come down, do a retest, a quick retest, and then push higher, ultimately this 4 hour breaking previous level highs, or just staying in this range and then ranging higher, right? It doesn't always have to make another move up, but as long as it's ranging and moving sideways, then that's a good indication that we will possibly continue moving in the overall direction, which for gold, we've been bullish for days and weeks and months now. So if this thing just starts moving sideways, as long as we establish the base, then it'll be fine, it'll be okay. We just have to continue holding and seeing what the market reactions are at this point. Just hoping that we don't see a big red candle followed by a green candle, because this thing's not going to come down. This thing can't come down that far. Like, there's just too many buyers happening right now in the market that this thing cannot stay down forever. It might go down for a bit, right? It might have an immediate sharp decline, but it should be followed by an immediate bounce at a certain level. So we just have to continue holding. The moving averages are still trending up. So really at the end of the day, all we can do is wait and sit on our hands, be patient, and trust that the bullish trend is still going to happen, right? Trust that the bullish trend is still on its way. So we can start seeing that we're having some sharp reactions here. Break on the 5-minute. So yeah, if this 5-minute kind of descending triangle here breaks above, and then we start doing some higher highs, higher lows on the smaller time frame, then yeah, this thing is gonna continue pumping higher. We just have to be patient and have to start to de-risk. So we're at negative 600 at one point. Right now we're at negative 397, 386. So as market moves in closer to my average order, I will start de-risking. This is how I like to trade. I start batching my orders. So I had some positions up here. As it started coming down, I started adding to my position, which overall lowers my average. In this case, since we're buying, it lowers my average order position, my average order price that I got in at, and it increases my overall profits, adding more risk obviously, but now I'm getting a better position. I'm getting a better price, an overall better price. Call it kind of like dollar cost averaging your way into the trade. We are long-term bullish. So like I said, if we hold here and we start moving sideways and then start trending higher, I will start to de-risk. So that way I get out of the orders that are, pretty high up here, get out of those orders for a small loss and leave my overall better orders down here at a better fill price. So that way I de-risk, and I'm still having a high risk. I still have a high risk to reward ratio because I've entered the new trades that I entered were at these bottoms. So overall, if I get out of the trades that are in the worst prices, then I'll take a small loss, but it gets covered with the trades that are in at the bottom. So this is how I like to trade. You do have to manage it and be on top of it a little bit more than if you were to do a pending order, or if you to do one size and just letting it ride. But overall, this is how I like to trade. I feel like I get better prices like this. I get a better risk to reward. And ultimately, if it does end up going and hitting my stop loss, I'm still in at a significant price or a significant position, but it's not going to wreck my account. As opposed, if it goes in my direction, like this will be major win and we'll have some major gains. So we just have to be patient here, hoping. We just got to hope and pray right now that the market does not tank on us. It's okay if it comes and it does a new low, because if it does a new low and we get a big rejection candle, a big bounce, that can entice more buyers to come into the market too. But see how I don't see what's happening now? See how the moving averages here are starting to cross down. The blue moving average is my shorter day moving average. It is a 9-day moving average. So my 9-day moving average is less delayed than the 21-day moving average. The 21-day moving average, obviously it's across 21 days, the average price across 21 days. The 9-day moving average is a 9-day average price of gold. So in 9 days, the average price of gold is where this line ends here. So once the blue line, since it's a shorter time frame, crosses the bigger time frame moving average, that can also signify a sell signal, meaning that the current moving average, the current price is moving and trending lower than the 21-day price, which can signify that it could be a sell signal. So there, like for example, here on this side here, if we go a little bit in the past, we can see that we had the blue moving out average cross to the downside, and then we had a big drop in price, and then we stabilized down here, and then price ultimately crossed back up, and we can see that it rejected here with two candles on the 15-minute time frame, and then it kept moving higher, and then price comes to the moving averages, and then it pushes higher. Comes to the moving averages, pushes higher, comes to the moving averages again, pushes higher. And here on the 15-minute time frame, the moving averages cross to the downside. So this is why it's kind of starting to scare me. But if we look on the 30-minute, on the higher time frame, 30-minute, we can see that the moving averages are still pointing high. The 1 hour moving averages are still pointing higher. Why? Because the overall market has been in a bullish, right, for the weeks and months. So going higher on the time frames, you're going to see that the moving averages are actually still continuing to push bullish. But as you can see, if we look on the 4 hour time frame, you can see that the moving averages are far away from price. So price is moving faster than the average. Like, these are delayed indicators, so it takes a little bit longer for the indicator to catch up with actual price, because price is, it's live time. So it can have immediate, sharp rejections, sharp bullish movements, sharp bearish movements. So price itself moves a lot faster than the delaying indicators like moving averages. But moving averages, if you can see here, are good indications that we can continue moving in that direction, right? That's why they're called moving averages. They're the average prices, the average price that it's moving or that it's at. So if price continues to push up, we should start seeing it push up pretty soon here. I'm just hoping that we don't get a big red candle and it wipes us out before moving higher. The 4 hours starting to look like it can come and at least touch the blue moving average. That's what kind of happens, is when it starts getting delayed like this and there isn't too many sharp rejections at the moving averages, then that's when it can stall out and then it can have a shift in direction, right? So we just really need some big green candles here. We need some big buyers to come step in and reassure the market that we are at a decent price for people to come in and continue buying this thing up, right? That we're at a price where it's not overbought. People still have a lot of conviction that this is going to continue going higher. Right now, we are starting to see a little bit of indecision for us to either continue higher or to start pushing lower. We're actually seeing some bearish movement. We're actually starting to see some pretty significant bearish movement here. But this is where it starts trapping all the sellers, right? So like, this is where shorts, everybody that's going short is going to get trapped. Everybody that's selling here, that's selling, oh, we just hit a big high, market's going to start coming down. Everybody starts selling and selling and selling. People start taking profits. People start getting into margin sell positions. And this is where a lot of sellers get trapped, because then the buyers start coming in. They see it as a big enough dip. They start getting more conviction. They start seeing it be at a price where they can, come buy the dip. And then they start buying the dip. Then all of the sellers start panicking, start getting out of their trades. More people start panic buying. And then this is how generally the markets get created, right? On every side that there's a buyer, there's also a seller. So if you're going to be buying gold right now, there's also somebody selling gold, selling that gold, that contract of gold to you. So if we start seeing a big red bearish reaction like we're seeing here, and a lot of people start selling, and then eventually market picks up where buyers start getting in big orders and big buyers start coming in, then all of these panic sellers, the people that have sold, will now start to panic buy, thinking that, oh, okay, now we're going to get into a buy position. So they sell and they lose all of their selling position. They start buying at the top and then potentially can come back down again. So that's where people get stuck in the buying the tops and selling the bottoms. You don't want to do that. You don't want to buy the bottoms. You don't want to buy the tops and sell the bottoms. You want to do the complete opposite of the mass audience. You want to be buying the dips and selling the tops. And here I made a mistake by not waiting a little bit longer and being more patient. I got in my first initial positions right around here, I didn't take profit. I ended up holding for too long just by literally by a few cents in gold move, that it didn't take out my take profit. It hit this double top and then it just dumped on me. And now I've been just holding the drawdown. I got out of some other orders that were in higher positions to de-risk a little bit, but ultimately I'm still down 700, almost $800 right now. If market does not go in my favor, I will be down $1,700. But we're starting to see some good pumps here. Let's look at the 1 hour. So 1 hour is holding up fairly decently. The higher price ranges, moving higher, right? If price starts to close like on the 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 minute higher than the previous candles, the moving averages will start to slowly move higher. And this is why they're lagging indicators, because price is telling us where it wants to go and the moving averages are just trying to catch up with it until we start seeing some big reversals and some big market changes, and then it can ultimately start shifting down. And then once the 30-minute, 1 hour moving averages start to cross, then we kind of have a big sell signal and we kind of want to get out or have an anticipation that now it's going to start to retrace to the 4 hour or the daily moving averages before continuing into that overall trend. So right now it's starting to go into our favor finally here on the 5 minute time frame. So as you can see, we've had some pretty decent red candles, not too big of body candles. We've had some pretty decent wicks here. It's starting to hold this daily low pretty well, and then now we're starting to have a pretty big influx of buyers. So we're starting to have a big green candle right now, which indicates, that there's buyers stepping in. Now it just needs to hold now. It needs to hold at these levels and start trending higher for us to start getting a little bit more conviction that the trade will potentially continue to the previous highs or break the previous highs. So right now, all we can do is just hold and start to de-risk as market starts coming up to our orders. Just kind of start de-risking. I'd rather lose my highest orders, the orders that have the worst price. I'd rather start losing a little bit on those than holding those, and those will be my biggest losers if I hold and it comes down and it hits my stop loss. So I want to avoid those big losses by taking a small loss as it moves in my favor. I already have more positions down at these bottoms, so ultimately I will have a better price if I get out of my worst prices up here. So right now we just kind of got to hold. The one the 1 hour is holding up pretty nicely here. Now we just need the 15-minute. We need the 15-minute to break these previous little highs here, and then we need the moving averages to start crossing back in the upwards direction. 30-minute moving averages still look pretty solid. They look intact. The 5-minute is starting to kind of cross over with some good strong candles. So everything's still looking in motion for us to continue higher. Now, once we start seeing some green here, we will start de-risking, and I will start getting out of my worst positions so I can have a lower average total buy-in and overall de-risk, lose less capital if it does end up going against us, but overall still make that decent amount of capital if it does go in our overall direction. This is one of those trades where you kind of have to you have to stick it through and know and have high confidence that the market is still going to continue bullish, considering that it's been bullish for days and months and weeks, right? So it's kind of hard to bet against this right now. Which me selling and getting out of the market is me betting against it. If I'm buying right now and I start selling when it starts going against me, that's literally the same thing as me selling into the market and expecting for market to continue going lower. So me selling right now would mean that I don't have enough conviction that it's going to continue higher when gold has been on a huge bullish uptrend for weeks on weeks. So I have pretty strong conviction here. We're having a pretty strong 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour candle. So now price just needs to start holding in these positions, start holding at these prices, at these levels, and start moving sideways, consolidating a little bit, and then pushing higher. If market starts giving us big red candles, then that is going to be a pretty bad sign. We do not want that to happen. So I'm going to wait a little bit more for some more candle closures on the higher time frames before starting to take some of these risks off. I can actually we'll put a limit sell right there. So if this ends up going in our favor, it's going to be a freaking solid trade. If it doesn't, I'm going to be pretty sad because I'm been on a huge winning streak and I don't want to end it now, but I also don't want to lose my entire account holding this thing if it goes against us. Right now it'll kind of start being the verdict here. We're kind of at another critical level of whether it breaks, holds, or rejects. Remember, a hold is good. Holding here at this price is good. So if the 5-minute can start consolidating and just moving sideways is good. If it just starts doing more red candles like this, I'm gonna continue holding it because overall my stop loss is down here, but it's just not gonna look that good for us. It's gonna put us at a little bit unease. They say remove your emotions from trading, but how can you when you're highly convicted on a trade? You're in, either you're gonna win it or you're gonna lose it, and if you lose, you're gonna lose some decent amount of money, right? But if you win, you're gonna win some great amount of money. So we just gotta be patient, hold on. We just gotta sit on our hands, hold our positions, and see how this goes. The 15-minute and the 30-minute candles here are going to close pretty soon in 7 minutes. So as long as you see how this 30-minute candle here broke this previous left. Let me just zoom in a little bit. See how this 30-minute candle is starting to break? It broke this level and it broke this level, which were the highs at one point, right? So we're starting to do lower lows, lower highs. It already broke this lower high and it broke this previous lower high. So if price just holds here and then this becomes the new low, then we'll continue going higher. We should continue going higher and hopefully retest previous highs. If not, ultimately break it. It is a big psychological key level of $4,000 an ounce. We've never seen that before in the entire history of the history. So this is going to be a first timer if it breaks 4,000. And if it breaks 4,000, we don't know how high this thing can continue, but I want to catch some part of the movement because I feel like I've been missing a lot on gold buys. Just because of how quickly it dips and how quickly it pushes back up to previous levels and breaking previous highs. So, so I hope this isn't the first time that I finally get into some gold buys and then this thing just completely tanks on us and it just starts liquidating a ton of orders before continuing going higher. It's starting to look good here. 15 minutes holding, 30 minute is holding, 5 minute is holding. The 1 minute, 5 minute, the moving averages are pointing up, so we should see some continuation higher here. I wish I could have gotten more orders down here, but I was already in pretty significant drawdown. I already had it closed positions in negative profit, so me risking more than what I'm risking right now would have not been okay. And it's just not okay for me to make those actions and decisions when I'm trying to grow the account and I'm trying to get payouts, because ultimately I'm just going to end up blowing accounts, and I do not want to blow accounts right now. I want to get paid. All right. Hopefully we can start de-risking here. I'm going to do some more sell limits here. Gotta refresh my screen here. Yeah, if this thing comes lower, starts coming down from here, then we're cooked, bro. We're freaking cooked because we've already created a base here. Market has been declining for the last 3 hours, slowing down on the sellers. Now buyers are starting to step in. If sellers start to come and step in again, I'm afraid that they're going to want to take out these lows. And if they take out these lows, they're going to come back into this range over here that has been established here. And if it comes back into this range, then obviously I'm going to be at a loss here. I will end up having to take the full loss. We're getting close to some of my orders where I'm going to start de-risking. I think these orders still will be at a loss, or very, very tiny loss, or very, very tiny profit. But I'm okay with that because I'm overall reducing my risk since I got in at pretty high prices. So yeah, hopefully this continues higher for us. If it did some big red candles, right? Why can't it start doing some big green candles and break previous highs? Like, come on, it did some big red candles. Like, let's absorb all of those sellers. Let's capture all of those orders. And let's continue pushing the market higher. Let's break this 4K an ounce for gold, man. Come on, let's break this. Give me my $2,000 in profit. I'll end up realistically being up like $1,600 in profit since I'm already down $400. But still, I want to make back what I lost and make more on top of that. Let's see if market can continue pushing higher. See if buyers can start enticing more retail buyers trapping all of these sellers. Everybody that sold here, let them get out of the market again. Let them take their loss, because why would you sell against gold right now? Why would you sell against gold right now? Like, that's probably the dumbest trade you can do right now, is sell gold. Yeah, don't be selling gold right now. Right now is the time where you buy the dips on gold. You buy the dips and you hold on for dear life and you buy the dips, because market will move very fast, very quickly, and it'll leave you behind if you do not buy the dips. If you buy the dips, you will make a lot of money. Lots of money if you buy the dips. You buy the dips, bro. Same thing with crypto. You buy the dips. You buy the dips. Let's go. 30-minute closes in 1 minute. 30-minute candle closes in 1 minute. We are going, looks like we are going to close very strong, very bullish, above the moving averages, which is a great sign. That's exactly what happened over here, where we had the decline, started consolidating, had a big green candle, closed above the moving averages that were already pointing higher, and we continued moving higher. So let's see if it can remake history and redo the same actions it did previously, right? Let's see if it can make the same moves as it did before. All right, come on, let's go. Start getting me out of some orders here. Come on, start hitting my orders. At this point, I don't want to see it hit these lows, so I'm going to start moving my stop loss a little bit higher, start moving that. So now, worst case scenario, where we're at right now, if we don't get out of any of these orders, worst case scenario, we'll lose 1,000 on the trade. We already lost 464. So worst case scenario, we'll be down 1,500 on the day. Best case scenario, we'll be up 1,600 on the day or more. No, best case scenario, we'll be up like 1,600 on the day. Beautiful candles. I just want to start getting out of some orders. I want to start de-risking here. I just wanted this thing to pump and get me out of some orders, and then we'll hold the bottom orders, move stop loss to break even or a little bit higher, and just overall start de-risking this thing. Start de-risking, because I was at a pretty big risk holding through this freaking dip here. But sometimes you can't always buy like the next leg up, like buy during the next leg up. You can't always do that. Like, you have to, if you're going to buy, you want to buy at the low levels. You want to see some red candles so you can buy, because if you start chasing some green candles, you can start buying right now and this thing can continue dumping, so you don't want to do that either. Like, you don't want to buy the tops, even if they're on the smaller time frame. You always kind of want to wait for a red candle, or for it to start looking like it's going to be a red candle, and then flipping eventually, and have the anticipation that it's going to flip green. So this might still come down, honestly. Starting to consolidate a little bit on the 5 minute, 1 minute. Yeah, I just don't really like this no more. For the very, very, very short term, I don't know how I feel about it. But gold moves quickly. Gold moves pretty fast. We are starting to see some bullish momentum. So if gold continues this bullish momentum and we start seeing some more big green candles like this, then I think that we will ultimately break 4K, honestly. I honestly really do think we'll break 4,000 on gold. We're gonna bank on gold, because it's going to break 4K. First time ever that it breaks $4,000. Come on, let's see some bullish momentum. Where all the gold buyers at? Come on, gold buyers. Push the market. Break 4K, gold buyers. How high do you really want gold to go? Come on, break 4,000. Come on, gold. Give it to me. Break it. Break 4,000 right now. This is probably going to be an overnight trade, to be honest with you guys. It's probably going to be an overnight trade on gold. And then tomorrow, New York session, wonder what's going to happen. Are we going to retest these lows? Are we going to break these lows? Because this is now Asia daily. This is the new daily low. Also, the Asia session low. So, is market going to consolidate? Are we going to get another push higher? Are we going to push lower and then go higher? Are we going to get a push high and then come back down and then go higher again? So those are all really good questions to ask. Right now, we're currently seeing that buyers are starting to step in again. Come on, de-risk, get out of some positions for me, please. Pretty please, get out of some of my positions. I have sell limits right there, as you can see, so market just needs to, pump up. Oh, it took me out of one. That one was it doesn't even show me. That one's like a $50 loss. Yeah, I think that was a $50 loss, which is okay because, like I said, we're de-risking here. 30-minute. Yeah, 30-minute looks so bullish. The 1 hour, everything just looks so bullish right now. Look at the daily candle. Look at yesterday's daily candle. Yesterday's daily candle did, let's see how many points. Yesterday's daily candle moved up $69. $69, and it didn't even have it didn't even have a freaking wick down here. Like, it literally closed high and then it literally pumped $70 as soon as market opened. It didn't even give anybody a chance to get in. Literally pumped as market opened right here, and market freaking pumped. So if this does anything like it did yesterday, even if it did half of that, right, half of 70 from market open, half of 70 is $22. We need a $22 increase in gold for us to hit TP. Like, I don't think that is hard to ask. Like, I don't think that's a hard ask here, I don't think that's a difficult move for gold to do, especially if we're coming up 4K. Like, for us to bounce here and go back up 3 times, this is a third bounce technically. Once, twice, third time. So third bounce, let's see if we can catch that break, right? Catch the break on gold, break of 4,000 on gold. So let's see if we can catch that break here. Not gonna lie, I was kind of sweating it. I was down like $1,300 at one point in drawdown. Now I'm almost break even. If I get out right now, I'll be down $70, $100. Hopefully we can just reverse this loss, continue on our green winning streak, and next time have more patience, I thought we were going to push higher like how we did yesterday. So I got in too early. I got in way too early. Held through unnecessary drawdown. Added way more risk than I should have. And holding and being a little bit more stressed than I should have. But right now, things are starting to look better. Things are starting to look green over here. The grass is starting to look green over here. So we're just going to let this thing ride. Right? That's all we can do. For this 4 hour to come back down to my stop loss is going to be insane if it does. Insane in the membrane if this thing comes and drops and hits my stop loss. But ultimately, we'll have a $1,300 loss instead of a $1,700 loss. So I've already started to de-risk. Tootsie Roll. Come on, this thing ain't coming back down. Come on, this is about to break all those levels. It's about to break 4K. Yo, it's about to break 4K. About to break 4K. New all-time high on gold. 4,100. New all-time high on Bitcoin. 127,000. New all-time high on Ethereum. 5,300. 6,000. If Ethereum hits 6,000, we'll be Gucci, man. We'll be Gucci, man. We will be Gucci. Cool. So we've been having a lot of green candles here. A lot of buyers are starting to step in. But is there enough strong and big enough buyers to break this high over here? We will have to wait and find out. And if we don't break and we come down, I'm going to lose $800 on top of the $500 that I lost already. It would be $1,300 loss. And I don't want to take a $1,300 loss, so I'm going to hold this. We either win it or we lose it. There's no in between. We either win or we lose. There's no in between, my dude. You're either going to hold this thing or you're going to freaking lose. There's no in between, buddy. You get out right now, you still end up a loser. If you get out right now, I will still lose $150. $160-ish. If I get out right now, if I get out right now, I will still lose $200. Nearly. I tell you what I will do. I will start moving my stop loss a little bit. Because, yeah, this 30 minutes should be the low here. That low should hold. We will be back. Boom, guys. Look at that. Market is starting to pump back up to previous highs. Will we get that final break that we need back to 4,000 on futures to ultimately end us in profit with 1,300 if this thing hits? If not, market will dump again at the highs. We'll get a lot of previous sellers coming back in, a lot of buyers now willing to take profit. So market is looking good, guys. Coming back from a freaking $500 loss. I was in $1,300 drawdown and the market is looking good. So now all we got to do is just be patient. We are going to move our stop loss a little bit higher to this new low here. Essentially, this will be not a fully risk-free trade yet. Market can still come back down, retest this previous low before heading higher, which is fine. Market's got to do what it's got to do. It's got to retest certain prices before initially making the next move up. Price is starting to look very bullish here on the 1 hour. Now we just need a break and closure above previous highs for us to have that conviction of us continuing trending higher. So market is looking nice and beautiful. We've just been patient, steady on our hands. We've had orders here. We held through this whole drawdown right here. Just been patient and holding it. And that's all we can do is be patient, hold this thing to break the previous highs. If this thing breaks previous highs, we should make a quick little run. No, it's going to go back into price discovery after breaking these highs. So there really is no telling how high it's going to go before having a drop back down. Obviously, markets cannot go up forever, but market will go back into a price discovery mode after breaking these highs. So we just got to continue being patient. The 1 hour here closes in 3 minutes. And honestly, I might just close one position just so I can de-risk a little bit. I'm going to put a sell limit here. Yeah, we really don't want to turn this into a losing trade. If I get out right now, I would be up $400-ish. But we're going to continue holding this. It still looks good, honestly, on the 1 hour, 4 hour, the daily. The daily looks bullish. Bullish, bullish, bullish. Bullish, bullish, bullish. Bullish, bullish, bullish. All right, so we're going to continue holding this. I am going to get out of one position, though, just to secure some profits. If we go back to my entry, it'll let me re-enter. Yeah, see, look at the 1 hour. This 1 hour looks really good. We just have to break out of this range. So we're now in this range here. We are now in this range. So we need a break above. We need a break above, and then for it to go higher. We need a break and a close for it to go higher. It's been giving us good momentum here, so we just got to continue with the momentum and expect that breakout there. So we'll just continue holding. This was the previous zone here. So we just have to continue holding here. Everything looks solid, guys. We need that break on gold above 4,000 break. It'll give us $1,700 profit. If I get out right now, I'd be up $500. But we're going for that extra couple $100 because I want another big payout here pretty soon by the end of the week. By the end of the week, I want another $3,000 payout. Let's freaking go. We're at $4,391 if we close right now, which will give it'll put us at 1,700 away from our goal. It's barely Monday. So let's try not to rush this. I do have a sell limit here. Let's see. It should fill us in here pretty soon. $1,000. Man, only if I wouldn't have exited out of those positions, I would have been up. I wouldn't even have been at a loss. I would have been at $1,000 profit. Not without losing anything, but I had to de-risk, and I also kind of doubled down a bit. So overall, stuck to my rules and remaining patient. So right now we just got to continue holding and waiting. The 1 hour is about to close here in 30 seconds. All right, the 1 hour is about to close. 15 seconds before the 1 hour closes. Everything is looking pretty solid still. This is a big enough green candle for me to still anticipate for a break above. We can definitely still see a push back down, another retest before going higher. See how this made a bottom wick and then pushed higher. This could possibly do the same, do a bottom wick before continuing going higher. 30-minute looks good, 15-minute looks good. I mean, we're at this point. This is the third time it's come to this area. Like, this thing has to break, right? This thing has to break. Like, there's no way this thing's going to hold it down. There's just way too much buying pressure here. Way too much buying pressure, not enough selling pressure for us to continue at least for a short-term downtrend. This didn't even create a short-term downtrend. This just created a dip. Everybody started buying the dip, and now we're continuing higher. So everything looks pretty solid to me to continue holding this. I do want to get out of one of my contracts here. I do want to get out at least one contract, one profit, just in case this thing does dip back down, which is very, very possible here. I could get out now and be 400 in profit, which that would have originally been my what would have first happened. I was up 470 before I got out. All right, we just gotta continue holding this. All right, we'll be back in a bit.